Okay, so what's on the agenda today? What are we going to talk about? First, we'll talk about what is a design framework, right? What exactly it is. Then we will talk about why do we need a framework? Why do we need a design framework at all, right? Then we'll talk about the types of UX design frameworks or design framework. They are similar, okay? UX design framework or design framework, they are same. Then we'll talk about, then we will deep dive into design thinking, which I generally follow a lot. The framework which I use for every design projects or every design challenges is design thinking. So I'll give you a deep dive into design thinking today, and then we will practically uh, pick up a problem statement and we'll solve it using design thinking. Okay, so with this you will be able to pick up any problem statement, and then you will start using design thinking. You can start creating solutions. Cool. So what is a design framework? What exactly it is, right? So design framework provides designers with the tools and techniques for solving problems, guiding solution, and building better experiences. So design frameworks provides the tools and techniques to the designers to solve those problems, right? To bring those solutions for the problem and to build better experiences. It helps design team to streamline their design process. Okay, design frameworks help design team to streamline their process. Okay, I'm going to talk about this point in the next slide in more detail. If you remember in last week's session where I was explaining about what exactly is UX design, where I've told you that UX design is a process of creating interaction design between human and computer. Now, what is that process? The framework, design framework is the process. So when we talk about process there, I'm referring to design framework. Okay, so user experience design is a process following the framework to create interaction design between human and computers. Okay, so it's very important to learn what design frameworks are. Now we'll jump into, if you see on the right hand side, user experience design are very complicated, right? There are lots of elements in it. If you sit down and start looking at these aspects, your mind will go haywire, right? And hence it is advisable that every design team, every designer should start implementing or start using a design framework. Okay, so now the question comes in, why do we need a design framework? So we understand what is a design framework. It provides us with the tools and technique, right, to solve the problem or find a solution and build a better experience. But why do we need it, right? That's the next question. Why do we need a design framework? The first one being design framework helps streamlining the design process. Okay, the design process looks very complicated, right? You need to do a lot of stuff, and you are not sure as to from where you should start and where you will end, right? What are that stops where you have to, what are the places where you have to pause and think? So it's not so clear, right? And design frameworks will help you streamline the process. When you streamline the process, there are two benefits of it. One, that business, right? We have to deal with business every day and day out, right? They are paying us for whatever we are doing. They are paying us for our job. So even they will have a clarity as to what we are doing, how are we doing things, right? How are we bringing the solution? How are we solving the problems? So by looking at the framework, the business will also understand as to what we are doing. And it's very easy for us to also to explain the business people as to this is what we are doing. We will do this, 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 and this, right? And that's how we are coordinating with business people. As far as users are concerned, we are solving their problem as well. The framework, design framework, will help you, as I said in the last slide, will give you tools and technique to solve the problem. When you are solving a problem, that means you're becoming user-centric, right? So when you use a design framework, you're streamlining the design process. As a result of that, you are making your business happy as well as your user happy. This is one of the most important reasons why we should adopt a framework. Point number two, design frameworks help teams to be innovative. Innovative. Okay, and how does this happen? Um, okay, so what happened is when you run the process, the entire framework multiple times, right? You become expert in innovation, innovating things, innovate or ideating solution for the problem. Every now and then when you are trying to solve the problem, your brain or you are by yourself becoming more and more bringing a lot of ideas into the plate. You're becoming more innovative. Okay, so the more you run the process, the more you will become, the more ideas you can bring into the plate, and the more you'll become innovative. Okay, so this helps in that as well. Number three is design frameworks help team to be collaborative, right? So everyone in the team, in the bigger team, or if you have a smaller team with two to three people, if you have a bigger team like 100 people who are working with design team, or multiple design locations globally, right? Everyone follows the same design frameworks, and it helps communicating with each other. It helps sharing their work with other people in the team, whoever they are. They might be the other side of the world, but when they work on the same framework, it's very easy to be collaborative, right? To collaborate with the work. So that's the advantage. These are the three advantages of using a design framework. Okay, so design frameworks help streamlining the design process. Design framework help teams to be innovative. Design framework help teams to be collaborative. This is why we need design framework. Okay, awesome. Now let's look at the type of design frameworks we have. Okay, the first being is human-centric design. And human-centric design is an approach to problem solving commonly used in design that develops solution to problems by involving the human perspective in all aspects of the problem solving process. What does we do in this process is we keep human in all the steps we do, in all the processes we follow to solve the problem. So we keep human in the center. That's why it's called human-centric design. Everything revolves around human. And the process which we do inside the human-centric design is this is from IDEO. Okay, IDEO is one of the biggest design agency globally. They have given us this steps called inspiration, then ideation and implementation. First, we get inspired, or we talk to the customers or to the users, try to understand their pain points, right? We're inspired by the problems which they have. Okay, and then we ideate on that problem statements. We create multiple ideas, and then we filter it out, the best one, and then we implement it. We designed it. Again, every design framework you pick up, right? They are iterative in nature. That means they are not linear. Okay, that means they are not 1, 2, 3. Right? It is non-linear. Once you are in number three, like you might be in implementation stage and you find something wrong, you can go back to step number 1 again, or you can go back to step number 2 again. Okay, so it's a very non-linear process. Every design framework is a non-linear process. Okay, so this is number 1. The second one is user-centric design. In user-centric design is an iterative design process in which designers focus on the user and their needs in each phase of design process. Okay, and let's look at their process. First stage is understand the context of the user. Is very important. So here they are saying that you understand the context where this problem is existing. Where is this customer experiencing this problem statement or experiencing this bad experience? Okay, and then we'll specify the user requirements as to what exactly is the problem statement, and then we will design solution, and then we'll evaluate against the requirements. Whatever requirements was there, we'll check whether we are successfully able to solve that problem or not. Okay, so next type is called double diamond. Double diamond is the is the name of the design process given by UK Design Council in 2005, and they adapted this model of diverging and converging proposed by linguist Bella H. Benetti. Okay, so it's a double diamond. Two diamonds were there. You can look at this. There are two diamonds here, two diamond shape thing. First one is discover, then we'll define and develop and deliver. If you look closely, the model called divergent and convergent. Divergent mean, you bring out lots of solution. You just open your mind, be broad, and try to think about the challenge which we have in multiple ways, right? And then you define it, okay, and then you bring it together. Focus on one or two solutions, or problem statements, right? And then you again diverge. You become again broad perspective, and then you become again choosing the best option called convergent. Divergent, convergent, divergent, convergent. That way you can become creative. Okay, this is double diamond. And the process or the framework which I use a lot is design thinking. I have been speaking about it a lot. I write a lot of blogs about it, and whenever I have to do something about design, or I have to work on a design project, I always follow design thinking. There are a couple of reasons for this, because I find design thinking more suitable. It's more human centric. It's give you opportunity to be empathic with your user. It gives you an opportunity to define the problem statement very carefully, right? Because design thinking focuses on the problem first. They focus on the problem first, and then on the solution part. Okay, hence I just love design thinking. So design thinking is, again, it's an iterative process. Every every design framework is an iterative process in which we seek to understand the user first, right? Challenge the assumptions and redefine problems to identify solution. Now, this is very important. And redefine problems. So there's a phase where we redefine the problem statement to identify the solution. Okay, and this is the process which we follow in design thinking. We empathize, then we define, then we ideate, then we prototype, and then we do the testing. Okay, this is what design thinking is. Okay, so now let's deep dive into design thinking. Let's try to understand each aspect of design thinking, each phases of design thinking, and what we do in that phases, and how we can, really take full advantage of design thinking. Okay, the first stage of design thinking is called empathize, or empathy. Right? When you have a problem statement with you, first you have to take that problem statement and try to empathize with the user who is experiencing that problem, or who is experiencing that bad experience. Right? You need to go to them, you need to talk to them, and then you can empathize with the user. Right? And then we define the problem statement. Okay, and then we ideate on that problem statement. Okay, we bring out a lot of ideas to solve that problem. Okay, and then we create a prototype out of that ideas. Okay, and then we test it with the users to find out whether we are successful with our design or not. Okay, so what we do in empathize stage. So this is the primary things we do in this stage called user research, which we are going to talk about in next week. Okay, next week section is about user research. Some of the methods we practice in this stage are user interview, surveys, contextual inquiry. Okay, these are the 3-4 methods. There are more, but these are the most used methods under empathy stages. Okay, so we have a problem statement. We either do a user interview to empathize with the user, or we do a survey, right, to understand what kind of problem it is, to just divergent, to understand from different perspectives of the problem statement. And then we might also do a contextual inquiry. So in a contextual inquiry, what we do is we go to the user's place, right, wherever he or she is working. We sit next to him, and then we look at whatever they are doing. So that is contextual inquiry. Next is define. Some of the methods we use in define is what we do in define stages, we define a clear and precise problem statement. Okay, then we also create personas here. We also create empathy mapping under this stage. And under ideate, some of the methods which we use to bring out ideas are brainstorming, crazy eight, and then those ideas need to be voted, and then dot voting is what we use to vote out or vote in the ideas. Right, so in ideation we bring out lots of ideas, and then we validate and we see what ideas we have to take it forward, and for that we do dot voting. And then we create prototypes. Okay, and under prototype, these are the things, these are the methods we might use, or we use, called paper prototype. You might know about this. UI, wireframes, storyboards, Wizard of Oz, or Lego. Right, sometimes a physical product, when you create a physical product prototype, you can use Lego. IDEO, as I told you, this is a global design agency. They use Lego a lot because they're more focused toward physical products, so they use lots of logo prototypes. Okay, and then on the test, we do user testing, we do smoke test, we do A/B testing, right, to validate whether we are successfully able to solve this problem or not. Okay, so these are the stages, and these are the methods which we use. And finally, it's very important to understand that, again, this is an iterative process. So if something is not clear here, we are not able to create the persona, or we are not able to create the empathy mapping, we should go back, right? I missed the arrow here, but I can go back here and start again, and doing research or interview the customer to understand them better. Okay, if I'm an ideal stage and we are not able to find out ideas, I can go back to define stage to define the problem statement again. All right, so there is a provision of going back and redoing things. Okay, cool. Now the foremost, or the most important part: how do we take the framework and we solve a problem? How do we do it? Right. So let's assume that we work for an e-commerce website or e-commerce company, and their customers are complaining that they are not able to find things that what they are looking for. Okay, so they are complaining, right? So if you look at the live products, there are multiple ways through which customer can connect with the team, right? They might give an NPS score, they might give you direct feedbacks, they might send an email to the customer care, they might be in contact with the marketing team, they might be in contact with the sales team. Through this, the feedbacks gets collected. Okay, and out of those feedbacks, this is what has been frequently been seen in the feedback, right? Customers are complaining that they are not able to find things what they are looking for in the website. Okay, so how do we solve this problem? How do we solve this problem using design thinking? How can we find a solution for this? Okay, so as first stage, what we do is we empathize with the user, right? So what we'll do is that we'll find out all this user who are complaining about this first, right? And if they're available, we'll try to set up a meeting with them, right? We will try to connect with them, and then we'll try to understand as to where exactly they are facing this problem. Why aren't they able to find the things which they are looking for, right? We'll try to understand that. There might be an issue that they might be looking at things which we don't sell at all. There might be this, right? And that will become out of scope. So we need to understand whether this problem is real or not. First, we have to understand that. And for that, we have to do the empathy mapping, empathy stage. We have to empathize with the user. So we have to do an interview to try to understand where exactly it's happening. Where are they feeling, or where are they not able to find this? Okay, that we have to find out. That is where that's what we do in empathy. Okay. Now, next up, once you are done with the empathy, and then where you do the user interview or survey or contextual inquiry, you understood, okay, the problem might be that, or your customers is telling you that, okay, I am not able to find things which which are in the price range of $100 to $200, for example. All right. So now they are defining it a lot. While complaining, they might not be in a mindset to explain everything. Now they are explaining you. They said, no, I was there, and then when I was trying to find out, products which are in range between $100 to $200, I was not able to do it. Now you are finding the problem. Now you are defining the problem. And then once this stage is done, what you will do is that you will take up those inputs and you define the problem statement. Now the problem statement is changed. Now the problem statement is that they are not able to filter things. It has changed. So now it is, they're not able to filter things, right? So we'll define the problem properly. We'll write the problem precisely. Okay, this is the problem now. This is the second stage. Okay, this is the problem, and we will create an empathy mapping. We will create a persona of this person who is not able to find things in the website, and then we'll move forward. And the next stage, what we'll do is that we'll ideate. All right, we'll try to find out solution to solve this problem. Okay, where the customer is saying that he's not able to find things which is a range between $100 to $200, right? So we will sit together, the entire team will sit together, we'll brainstorm, right? Or we'll do crazy ed to find out maximum number of ideas, right? The biggest thing here to understand is that while we'll ideating, we should not stop ourselves. We should go wild, and we should bring as many solution as possible. Okay, and once a solution has been sorted out, then we'll do a dot voting, right? Every members will get 3 dots with them, and they can vote the ideas, which ideas to take it forward for the prototype. Okay, then once that is done, and we shortlisted 3 ideas, for example, we said, okay, we have to put a filter there, a proper filter, right, through which you can or we can say we need a so first idea is putting a filter. The second idea is shorting, right? I can short things quickly, just clicking there top to bottom, or clicking one more time, low to high, or if I click another time, it's high to low. That's second idea. So we'll create a prototype of these 2 parts, right? And then prototype can be UI design, paper prototype, or anything else, right? There are a lot of things which I've explained you. And then we'll go back and we'll test it with the customer, and we'll try to see if they are clicking on that filter, right? So we will analyze as to how many users click on that. What was the earlier rate of clicking the filter? Or if we didn't have a filter, then the answer would be 0. And how many people are clicking now? If you have people, if your users are clicking like 20-30%, then it's a win, right? 0 to 20% you have increased, so it's a win for you. And then congratulations, you have found a solution, and then you have solved the problem using design thinking. Awesome. Again, it is an iterative process. As I've told you, you can go back to whatever process you were in earlier stage, and then from there you can take a fresh view on the problem statement or the ideation of the ideas. Then you can do a new prototype, and then again you can do the testing. Okay, so this is how you solve big problems using design thinking. Now, design thinking, don't just think about the UI or UX part of it. Design thinking are being used to solve biggest problem. And one of the biggest thing which design thinking able to solve is called wicked problem. A wicked problem are problem which are related. There's one problem, and then there are multiple problems linked with it, right? For example, population, right? Population, if you try to solve this problem, you will see there are a lot of other problems getting attached to it. For example, the population in India and China are expanding, whereas the population in Japan are shrinking. People are worried about it, right? So globally, you cannot have a solution for the entire globe, right? So this kind of problem are called wicked problem. So design thinking is capable of solving this kind of problem as well. Awesome. Okay, so with that, I'm wrapping this session. Next week, we are going to talk about what is UX or user research. wherein we are going to talk about how to identify a problem statement and then how do you solve that problem statement. You have seen how do you do it in design thinking, but we will show you as to how you find problems. Okay, that will be the topic for next week, which is UX or user research. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we will start with the Q&A session now.